Hey, it's Central Valley Real Estate. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Franklin Spees with Neighborhood REI. And Franklin, REI stands for
Real estate investments.
Real Estate Investments. But you do a little bit more than just real estate investments, don't you?
I do. Thank you, Steve. I am a licensed real estate broker in the state of California, also a licensed attorney, real estate attorney, and also own a property management company here locally in Fresno County.
So you kind of cover a broad area. You have services for people in the real estate field in many different areas.
That's right. You know, I grew up here in Clovis and Fresno, went away to school and came back, and so this is really a geography that I've decided to specialize in and really hone in on real estate specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So my background was originally in development and working in land use law, but I've always had a relatively small property management company running, and we have since expanded that over the last several years. It's only residential. At this point, we specialize in residential properties, managing them all over the county, really, but primarily in Fresno and Clovis.
Property management.
Yeah.
Now that's a very broad field in many different ways. But you know, for the homeowner that bought another home and thinks, well, I'm going to be my own property manager, they have no idea what they're getting into, most of them, do they?
Well, you know, I think property ownership, especially investment, and you know, see all the flipping houses on TV.
Oh, yeah.
I think they can paint a picture that it can be easier than it is. And a lot of people, you know, can take it on, but most everybody has other jobs, and so it's good to have a professional management company come in and be able to navigate issues of leases, you know, contracts, fair housing issues, you know, rent collection, and unfortunately, some of those tenancies end in unlawful detainer.
They go south.
Yeah.
And this when it goes well,
Yeah.
it's not a problem. But that's not why you have a property management company, because things can't even under the best of presumed circumstances, things happen. Something with the house that, you know, can be defective, and the renters, you know, they get an uproar, or renters that, you know, they had great prospect going in and they fell short.
Yeah.
And you know what? You got to have an understanding of the law at that point to begin to move forward on this. And most people, they're not trained. And real estate law can be pretty complicated.
It can, and I would say, you know, the large body of that law is landlord-tenant law. And as we know, many of us know, that it can tend to be very tenant-friendly. So landlords need to do their due diligence to really lay a common expectation, a mutual expectation, in a very detailed lease, setting the stage up front. We are members of the Apartment Association, California and Fresno Apartment Associations, and we use all of their leasing forms and noticing forms, and those are obviously, you know, reviewed by a team of attorneys every year and staying up to speed.
Well, so I'm going to stop you.
Yeah.
You said something very critical. Reviewed every year.
Now,
why is that important?
You know, this is a very litigious but also highly regulated area of law, of industry, real estate, and specifically property management, because we do need to protect, as the city is taking a lot of steps right now, to protect tenants where landlords may be less than above board, which I think is a significant minority of property owners in the city. But so yes, it can be very difficult to navigate, but there are a lot of things you can do to mitigate those risks and exposures.
So, Franklin, on the legal side of your business, the law practice side, you represent both property owners and renters?
So mostly on the legal side, I work with a firm. It's called lawvex.com. Is the website where you can find out more information. But yes, I specialize in real estate, but specifically land use, subdivisions, development, transactions, title issues, adjacency issues, things like that. So not so much on the management side and the landlord-tenant, but more so on the larger transactional or land use issues.
And in today's world, that can be pretty daunting task, can't it?
You know, it can.
Yeah.
Development is complicated, and
It's not like it used to be. I got this piece of property, I'm going to put
Yes.
this up and we're good to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way, does
that's
it?
right. That's right. And the city, you know, obviously in the larger general plan scheme of the city, there are certain growth patterns and projections, and tying in transit with density and, you know, lower density, and, you know, placing commercial and industrial, but trying to become a little less dependent on the car. So some development is appropriate in certain areas, and some of it isn't. And the city's trying to do its best to incentivize development where we want it.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Now, on the broker side of your business, what do you do?
So incidental to owning a property management company, there are often all of my clients are real estate investors, and so they're always buying and selling. And I would say, you know, I do a handful of transactions in investment properties a year. I also coordinate with a handful of very savvy brokers, buyers and sellers brokers here locally, and do a lot of referral business that way. And the other thing that I've done, last year we put together a large real estate syndication, approximately $50 million in large multifamily properties here in the Central Valley. And really the idea there is that, you know, if you and I have $100,000 to go out and buy an investment property, we're
Right.
just like a whole lot of other people.
Right.
But if we group our money with a whole group of other people, then we can go take advantage of these larger properties that used to only be accessible to institutional grade investors. So economies of scale and a lot of different advantages and stability and dispersion of risk.
So if I happen to be an investor and I'm thinking about maximizing my investment in the real estate world, this would possibly be something that I would be very interested in.
I think so. I always subscribe to the idea of being diversified. You
Right.
know? So yeah, I think there's a place to have small rentals. I think there's a place to have maybe medium size or even commercial. But these more passive investor opportunities where you can go in and get a pretty decent sized return,
Right.
low or high single digit, low double digit returns, and really not have any responsibility and just go do your day job. I think that's a good opportunity.
That sounds
Yeah.
a good way to deal with my
Yeah.
money. Put
I'll
it
let
to
you
work.
know next time
Yeah.
one comes around.
I appreciate it. Well, good deal. Anything else in particular going on with neighborhood real estate investments?
No, just specifically that, again, that we emphasize and specialize in residential properties, anything from condos, single families, small multifamily, up to large multifamily properties. We have a staff of about 10 folks that work here in the city, and we'd love the opportunity to get together on the phone or in person to describe our services, and that would be great. And you can find our information's on the screen there.
Well, that was the next thing I was going to ask
taking
you.
your job, sorry.
All right, you're making me look, but no, this is good. The guy's on top. You may want to pay attention. He's got his ducks in a row, so to speak. Okay, how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can, the single web address you can find us is at neighborhoodrei.com.
Okay.
And a good email there as well is info@neighborhoodrei.com.
Right.
And that's my cell phone there on the screen. You can reach me. My wife and I also are co-owners of the management company, so when you talk to her, you're talking to me.
Right.
We're equals in that regard.
Is she a good partner?
Oh, she is a good partner.
She's excellent. Yeah.
Yes.
Is she watching? No. Excellent partner, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Good deal. How long you been in business?
About, I would say, management back about 17 years.
So you got a couple weeks under your belt.
Yeah.
That's good. And I say that seriously because, having a real estate manager, property manager, having experience in that, that makes a big difference.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
There's a lot of pitfalls out there.
There really is.
Yeah.
Franklin, thanks for taking the time being on the show today.
Appreciate it, Steve.
Glad to have you. Good luck. And this is a great market for all this stuff
Yes,
right
it
now,
is.
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right. So come back in a while and let me know how it's going, right?
Will do.
Okay. And I'll see you when we come back.